Somehow the topics are connected. Honorable members of the European Parliament, faced with current geopolitical challenges, it is ever more important that we stand up for our common European values and principles, including in our relations with partners. The European Union is deeply concerned by the detention and arrest of Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu and other public figures, including members of the press and civil society representatives. These acts significantly reduce the space for exercising fundamental freedoms, weakening democracy and political pluralism. The detention and arrest of an elected official and prime opposition figure right after his announced intention to stand as a candidate for the presidency of the country raises fundamental questions. We want Turkey to be anchored in fundamental democratic principles and values. As I said on Saturday, as a candidate country and long-standing member of the Council of Europe, Turkey is expected to apply the highest democratic standards and practices, including with regard to freedom of assembly, media freedom, and free and fair elections. We also expect Turkey to provide full transparency over the process. Access to impartial justice and due process in line with principles of rule of law and Turkey's international commitments must be guaranteed. Hundreds of thousands of people that gather on the streets of Istanbul and other cities in peaceful protest are a clear proof that democracy and rule of law matter to the Turkish people. And here I would encourage the authorities to listen to their people, to continue to allow these peaceful demonstrators to express their views and to make sure that these protests can continue in a safe space. The consequences for Turkey as a state and for its society could otherwise be devastating. The developments we are witnessing are the result of backsliding in democratic standards. The Commission has been critical on this in our annual reports on Turkey. We have repeatedly stated that Turkey needs to effectively reverse the negative trend in the areas of fundamental rights and rule of law. We have passed the message also in various bilateral meetings with Turkish authorities, and we have taken concrete measures. In 2018, the European Council took the extraordinary step of putting the negotiations on Turkey's candidacy to the EU at an effective standstill. The EU's financial assistance has been reduced and recalibrated to the EU priorities only, including people-to-people contacts and support for civil society. At the same time, the relationship that we have with Turkey has many different dimensions that transcend EU accession negotiations. Turkey is also a NATO ally, an important actor in foreign policy and regional issues, as well as a crucial partner country for dealing with illegal migration. And it is a neighbor whose geographical location, straddling Europe and Asia, puts it at a geopolitical crossroad. In Syria, on the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine, in Lebanon, or in the Southern Caucasus, Turkey is a strategic partner of Europe. Shutting our channels and areas of cooperation would benefit no one, least of all the people of Turkey who call for the respect of fundamental freedoms and values and an EU orientation of Turkey. We will continue calling on Turkey to adhere to its international commitments and as a candidate country and a member of the Council of Europe. And because of what is happening in Turkey, I cancelled my participation at the forum in Antalya, and I will not go to Ankara to meet the Turkish Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Grazie.